On behalf of Veterans in Politics International, I would just like to thank you for coming this evening. Just to give a brief overview of this process, the panel members will be given a 30-second introduction for themselves. Then the candidates will be given 1 minute to introduce themselves and why they're running, and also why they're seeking the endorsement from Veterans in Politics International. Please keep in mind that this is not a debate. The questions that will be asked of you should be answered to the panel and not to your peers. Once the panel member asks you a question, you will be given 1 minute to answer that question. I won't be rude and I won't cut you off, but at a certain point, I'm going to go like this and you need to wrap it up because we are on a short time. At the end of the answer question portion, I will be giving you 1 minute to make a closing statement where people can reach you, your website, so on and so forth. So to begin, my name is Talicia Sandoval. I'm currently a political science major at UNLV and pre-law. I am Michael Broadway's assistant and also working for Sherrod Mendenhall's campaign.
Hi there. My name is Michael Broadway. I am a real estate broker, and boy, do I have some questions for you.
Hello, my name is Karen Sangalaza, resident of Clark County, and I'm a software engineer.
Okay, so to begin, I'm going to give each person 1 minute to introduce themselves, starting with Mr. Evans. Thank you.
I'm John Evans, retired from mortgage banking industry, specifically in that industry related to the recorder's office. I spent a lot of years training mortgage underwriters how to spot document fraud and Photoshop fraud. That's particularly pertinent in the environment we're in with moving more and more towards digitization of documents and electronic notary, and of course with continued fraudsters in the world looking for opportunities to steal home title and identity and commit other kinds of fraud financially. I'm running because I feel like that background and experience gives me an opportunity to serve and make my community a better place.
Thank you. Ms. Conway?
Good afternoon. I'm Debbie Conway. I'm currently the Clark County Recorder, and I have been the recorder for the past 12 plus years. I worked for Clark County for over 30 years. I have background in project management, in banking and finance. I was a branch manager at one point in my career. Also, grants management. I managed major projects, $1 million plus. And currently, I am the chairperson for the Clark County Credit Union. It's $1 billion credit union. I'm also a chairperson for the International Churches of God in Christ here in Las Vegas, the jurisdiction, the Ecclesiastes jurisdiction. I have served in the office for 12 plus years. There's approximately 55 people on staff. I have a master's degree in business, and I also have taught at community college here for 12 years in Las Vegas. And there's 55 people in the office. We process anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 documents a day, and we bring in anywhere from $1 to $3 million in the recorder's office.
Thank you. Mr. Kane?
Thank you very much. My name's Hunter Kane, and I am running to be your next Clark County Recorder. A brief history about my background. A month after the towers came down in 2001, I decided to enlist in the Army. So I served there from 2001 until 10 years later when I decided to get out. I was the director of community engagement and the senior veterans rep for Congresswoman Dina Titus, where I handled literally all of her veterans casework and events. I'm a CCSD teacher. I'm a member of Nevada, or I also work for Nevada Work for Warrior, and then I'm a proud foster parent. A while ago, I reached out to the recorder's office, and this is why I'm running. I asked them specifically if they could blacken out or censor my information. I told them that I'm a foster parent, and some of my kids' biological parents were coming and trying to threaten to get their kids back. The response I got was, it's not our problem. Go deal with it. So when I've told my story and reached out to other foster parents and domestic abuse survivors and other high-risk individuals, they kind of got the same reaction from the recorder's office. So I don't think that it should be our responsibility to turn around and have to go pay hundreds of dollars in the courts to be able to censor our information to do other different things. So this is one of the reasons, and hopefully we'll get to some of the other ones.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Mrs. Conway, my question is going to be for you. I'm a real estate broker in Arizona and Nevada. Why is it that we cannot go online and see the recorded documents? Now, let me finish. in Arizona, I can go into what's called EagleWeb, and I can do it. I tried to do the same thing in county to get the notice of defaults and whatnot for foreclosures and when they're coming. I had to spend $1,500 to get this information for 90 days. This is ridiculous. This is 2022. Why is this not available to the public?
Well, one of the reasons why it's not currently set up online is because the district attorney's office informed us that if we were going to put the images online, they had to be redacted and all the personal information has to come off. And because Las Vegas has such a growth spurt that's going on right now, and there's millions and millions of images in our database. So the attorney said either you put them all up at one time or don't put a few up at a time, because that's not legally, that's not the way to do it. And so the images are not online right now, but we do have a major project that's underway, and we do have the funding for it. And we've already sat down and planned it out. It's going to take anywhere from 3 to 5 years to process all of those images, redact them, do a quality check, and make sure that the personal information has been removed. And it has to be done. It's a sensitive project. It's an intense project, and it's going to take time, and we have to phase it out. But we have begun the process already.
Thank you. So I guess before we move forward, can you explain to us the role of a recorder, or for everybody? We'll start with you, Ms. Conway. Thank you.
Okay, I'll start. The Clark County Recorder's Office, we process documents. I'll just give you a few examples. We have hundreds of categories that we process documents. And we do deeds, we do all property records. We maintain DD 214s for those who are veterans. And the purpose is to preserve those documents for years to come. One of the recording requirements is to make sure that the document is legible. And so we have to check it for legibility and for other aspects according to the law. Every aspect of what we do is according to the law. I heard Mr. Hunter say that he wanted his documents expunged or taken out of the record. The only way that can happen is at the legislature. It has to be a bill passed indicating that the documents can be removed, or he has to get a court order. So I don't know who he talked to when he came into the office, but we do process all those documents, trust, wills, and so forth.
I'm so sorry about that. I'm going to give you a chance to also answer. We're going to start with Mr. Kane, and if you would like to respond to that, you may as well.
Absolutely. Thank you. So what I asked was for it to be censored or blackened out. She is correct that you have to go to court, spend hundreds of dollars and multiple months, when it should be a simple requirement saying, hey, I am an at-risk community member, and because of a deed that I didn't even know was going to be published as a public record, now people are coming and threatening my kids. It should be something that we deal with. Debbie did say, a lot of what the job did. I think one of the questions I would ask is the difference between the recorder's office and the recorder. So one of the different things is that, yes, the recorder's office should do everything she's saying, but one of the things that we should be adding is the recorder should be a community outreach specialist, should be someone who's going around talking to different schools and individuals and targeting certain type of communities altogether, which is just not being done in any way.
Thank you. Mr. Evans?
Thank you. The recorder's office is, in simple terms, a huge filing cabinet for public documents that it's in the interest of our community to have those documents recorded, especially some documents you want originals of, safely, publicly accessible, as related to your question earlier, and then also secured. And there are things that you can do there for those and categorized where they're easy for the public to find. Other states have systems where there's a two-tiered system so that the general public can't find someone like Mr. Kane's, his home address just because he owns a home in this community. And that would give him the protection that he wants. There are solutions available for things like that, and that's part of what the recorder's office should do in addition to the duties that they already have.
Thank you. My next question would be, why you? Why should we endorse you? What separates you from your opponents? And what do you feel like you're going to make a change in? We can start with Mr. Kane.
Absolutely. Why me is because, I will speak common sense to sense, I guess you could say. For example, we all keep saying the veterans can record their DD-214. If you are a veteran, please do not go to the recorder's office to record your DD-214. As soon as it is recorded, because it's a public document, I can go and request that DD-214, and I have access to your social security number, your signature. I have access to all this information. The alternative is you can blacken out this information, which makes the document void for you needing to download it later. What I would tell people, and this is one of the reasons I want to run, is that there are those resources out there. Go to the assessor's office. You can go to the assessor's office and get real tangible benefits. You can give them DD-214 for free. Plus, you can get benefits on your property tax, on your vehicle. In addition, they have all of these different great other services, but to tout something like veteran services is not great. So I want to be community engaged. I want to speak truth to power, and I want to be able to help our different systems talk to each other.
Ms. Conway?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Why you? What separates you from your opponents?
Well, the mere fact that I have the experience, and I know I'm the one who really knows what the office does. Everything that we do in the office is governed by law. We can't break the law and do things for people simply because it's their personal preference. My own personal documents and my address is in the records. It's a public records office. It's set up that way by the legislature, and so we have to adhere to the law. The other thing I wanted to say is that I have been in office for a number of years. I have accomplished a number of things. Every year we have goals that we set. Right now we have kiosks available that's out in the community. We teach classes. I go to realtors' offices. I go to the title companies. I do extensive reach out to talk to them about what their concerns are. And we have fixed a lot of the concerns already. The kiosk was one example. We're also I'll wrap it up. And we're also doing gov to gov and other types of activities. So I can explain that more later.
Thank you. Mr. Evans?
Never been in politics before, never run for public office. Spent all of my life in business, and I've always believed that government agencies that serve the public interest have a responsibility to serve the public interest. Always believe that we shouldn't have career politicians. People should leave their lives or their careers, serve their community for a few years, and then walk away from that. The longer that an individual is in office in a position like this, the more that they have the tendency to serve the office and what's easy and convenient for them rather than the general public. So why me? Is I'm not that guy who's been in that forever. I want to make my community a better place. I've got the experience in the real estate and mortgage industry that's so vital and related to what the recorder's office does. I think that makes me a good fit.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a couple pointed questions here. First off, you say that it has to be redacted, Mrs. Conway. When I paid $1,500, I was able to get the documents. Then it wasn't redacted. Secondly, you've been the recorder for 12 years, is what you said. You've had to have more domestic violence people and people like Mr. Kane that have wanted their names, taken off, redacted. Why is it not that it's already set up? If you're a foster parent, if you're a victim of domestic violence, why isn't your name automatically removed for free? Why hasn't somebody pointed this out? If you want your name, then you go place it.
The legislature addressed the concerns of the public. I believe it was at the last legislative session. Our office was inundated with a number of bills that passed that enumerated the ones whose names and personal information should be redacted or removed from our public records. And again, my record is out there. The majority of folks' records are out there. If the records are to be removed, the only way we can do it, according to the law, is that someone has to get a court order. If the court order comes in and say remove the records, then that's what we do. We have worked hard going to the legislature. We're a member of the recorders across the state. The recorders across the state meet and convene at the legislature, and we lobby against laws that are good for the public and laws that are not good for the public. And so that whatever outcome happens, again, we're governed by the legislature.
With all due respect, Ms. Conway, this is not talking about everyone. This is talking about people that are victims of domestic violence. This is talking about people that are victims that need this protection, that need their names to be covered, and they don't need their names out there. This isn't about everyday people.
There is a law right now that we do remove the individuals who have been abused or aggressively come against. There is a law that passed the legislature, and we do remove those types of individuals' names from the public records. Also police and also teachers. There's a number of individuals that came under the guise of those bills. So it is happening.
Have you personally stood up and said, after 12 years, I've received these calls from foster parents from domestic violence? Have you went to the board and stood there as the recorder and stated your case?
Again, it's not the board, it's the legislature. And we go up every year.
I stand corrected. If you went to the legislature with these complaints.
Yes, we go every year. We're asked specifically by some legislators to come up and speak to different topics. For example, this gentleman mentioned that he works and he's done stuff in terms of fraud. We have gone up and talked to the legislature about fraudulent activity. We work with the task force. It's the that includes the AG's office and also Metropolitan Police and all the other individuals across the county. We're a member of the Fight Fraud Task Force, and we have gone up and talked about all of these different issues that you're mentioning today.
I'm going to allow Mr. Kane and then Mr. Evans to also comment on this. So if you would like to start.
Thank you, and I'll make this brief. I think the answer to your question, if we're being truthful, is no. Is that there is a law in the legislature saying that you must go through the courts to go through. And I think we elect public officials to literally speak on our behalf, not stand behind a law. So I think that if we actually said, hey, it's our job to go out here and do this. And to be honest, I would try to reverse that law, just saying it's okay to make your public records censored. If somebody else wants to view the public records, they have to go through the courts. They have to pay the fee. They have to show the justification, not the other way around.
Thank you. Mr. Evans.
I cannot imagine being in office 12 years and having this issue and looking you in the eye and admitting to you I know it's an issue and having not been able to persuade my legislators to do something about that. That's all the answer I have.
Thank you. Okay. So kind of switching the topic a little bit, we've mentioned community outreach, going out there. In your own opinion, what would you say is the key to success when communicating with the public? We'll start with Mr. Evans. Thank you.
In speaking with the public and communicating with them, number one, you have to use every channel and means available because people are busy and they're constantly bombarded all the time by messages. And you've got to use those opportunities and then communicate clearly. In any industry and in any government operation or organization, we use industry speak, which is a totally different language. And I know from my experience in the mortgage business, you look across the desk at a person and speak mortgage and they have no idea what they're doing. You've got to put that in terms that everyday people relate to. That's a key thing.
Thank you. Mr. Conway?
I have done outreach ever since I've been in office for the last 12 years. We have records research classes that we teach at the title companies and we teach to the realtors. I go to the schools and talk to the young people about the recorder as a career and what a recorder does and what the recorder's office is and how it relates to all the other governmental offices throughout Clark County. I also go to the different colleges. I taught at community college, as I mentioned before, for 12 years, talked about the office, told the young people what an office does, and encouraged them to get involved in politics. We go to Nevada Power, we go to Metro, we go to all the different agencies that utilize our office, and we talk to them about the office and how to do searches and whatever questions they may have. I have done outreach ever since I've been in office, and that's a great part of my job.
Thank you. Mr. Kane?
Yeah, so to answer the question, I think reaching people where they are. So we're talking about social media, maybe not going as far as TikToks, but, you know, the Instagrams and the Facebooks and the Twitters, having that kind of presence out there and platform. The kiosks are great. I think the last one was installed in 2018. So we're literally talking about things from 4 years ago, as it's right here. But we need more. They need to be in more rural areas and not in the county buildings, where too many of them are right now. I think when it comes to outreach, you know, we all kind of laughingly joke, haha, what does the recorder do? We keep saying 12 years, but I believe she's been in it for 15 years. And if nobody really knows what the recorder does, if nobody really knows, then why are, you know, we could tell that the outreach is not happening. So whatever is working and may have worked in 2007, you know, when she initially ran, it's not working in 2022. So I would kind of try to reach the people where they are.
Thank you so much. I think I speak on behalf of everyone that we would love to continue and keep asking you questions, and I'm sure we could go all night, but unfortunately we are on a time limit. So I'm going to give you 1 minute or so to wrap up your closing statements. If you would like to look in the camera, give your campaign information, your personal information, whatever you choose. We will start with Mr. Evans. Thank you.
Thank you. You want more information? Go to my campaign website, johnevans4recorder.com. I think you ought to vote for me quite simply because I'm the candidate who comes to this with a business and customer service background rather than a background of, without being disrespectful, spending a career feeding the government bureaucracy beast.
Ms. Conway.
I'd like to add that I have spent 20 years in the public sector. I mentioned that I taught in the public school system. I was a banker, a branch manager for 12 years. I also worked for Avon Products as a sales manager for several years. I taught at community college. So I have a variety of experiences, and I haven't spent all my time in government. My experiences are what caused me today to be able to successfully run the office. We have kiosks. There is more than one kiosk. We are currently producing 6 more to put into each commission district. And there are a number of projects that we've undertaken. My webpage is www.debbieconway.com. You can go to my webpage and look at all the accomplishments. Everything that I've accomplished in office, where these gentlemen are criticizing, but there's lots to what we've accomplished. So Debbie Conway for Clark County Recorder, so that I may finish the projects and get the information out to the public and also give them access to the office.
Absolutely. So thank you, Veterans in Politics, for allowing me for this endorsement interview. My name is Hunter Kane, running for Clark County Recorder. I want to leave you actually, which we didn't get a chance to talk a little bit about, just my passion for service. So in the United States was attacked on September 11th. You know, George Bush said, we need you to serve. I literally a month later served. When Governor Sandoval said, we need more people in Nevada National Guard, I stepped up for that too. For the past few years, they've pleaded for more foster parents and pleaded for more substitute teachers. I stood up and I'm licensed and I'm active in both. So when you're thinking about, you know, who you're going to pick, do you want to pick the person with literally a lifetime of service or a lifetime of, you know, business accolades, which I guess is you're going to be individual choice come June 14th. I hope that I get your vote. I hope that you will go to www.kane4c.com to find out how you can contribute. You can look up Kane4C on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And then most importantly, if you need any help, 725-212-0560. If it's my way to connect you to a community service program, I'm here for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that would be concluding our endorsement interview.